know why? I'll give you just one hint. You're going to be talking to Film Boy.
You already mentioned anybody that knows Film Boy already knows who he is. But just to carry everybody along, we're going to read a short profile. So, Mr. Yemi Film Boy Morafa is a renowned director, writer, cinematographer, and producer with over a decade of experience redefining Nigerian cinema. Born on January 20 and hailing from Lagos State, Yemi is the creative director at Film Boys Incorporated, a production company he has led since 2010. He holds a degree in directing and film arts from the prestigious National Film Institute in Jos, Plateau State. Known for his non-linear narratives and striking visual style, Yemi has brought to life powerful stories such as The Wait, Something Wicked, and The Grudge, much recently The Party. He has also directed for television, including hit series like Battleground and Wura, earning critical praise for his ability to blend cinematic flair with deep emotional stories. From thrillers to faith-based dramas, Yemi Morafa continues to push the boundaries of what Nollywood can be, visually bold, emotionally resonant, and globally relevant. Welcome to the show, Mr. Yemi.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So let me start the first one. Film Boy, how did you come about that moniker? I mean, we see that's like your signature. How did you come about the moniker?
Iconic.
Yeah, I mean, so thanks to you guys for bringing me on. Since I was a kid, I used to watch films. I'm a film buff. I'm a cinephile. So I've been watching films since I was this little. So a friend of mine, called me up one day and said, you're really a film boy, right? I'm like, what? He was like, yeah, you are really a film boy. Like you really know films. And I'm like, okay. So I caught that phrase and I picked it up. And from then.
How long ago was this?
This was 2009. Yeah.
And so you started Film Boy in 2010.
Exactly.
Immediately.
Yeah, once the name, I like, before anybody goes to take the name, I'm like, let me go and
register the name.
Let me go and register the name.
Did you start making films immediately?
Not immediately. I actually started. I did documentaries. I did a documentary for Davido, who is Davido, way back. I did a couple of music videos. I was just dilly-dallying here and there until I said, you know what, film is what I really want to do. So let me go into that.
At what point did you decide it's now fully films?
Because I wanted to tell stories. So that was about 2012. I really wanted to tell stories, heart, meaningful stories, stories that people can relate to, stories that people haven't heard, and just bring that to people, cinematically or maybe via television. I just thought that music videos is for people who just want to, graphically show visuals and not linearly tell stories.
Yeah.
And that's why I just said, let me just, my name is Film Boy anyway, so how about that?
Okay. So the party is what has got everybody talking. We on the show have been talking about the party for, I think we talked about it last show, and we are talking about it. We are going to talk about it a lot today.
All right.
So the party was a short, sweet, limited series, and everybody has been saying, oh, that's a fantastic film. People that didn't know your name before now know your name.
I'm glad.
Want to see who created this masterpiece.
Right,
So
right.
what inspired the party? When did the story come to you? How did it come about? And just tell us the story of the party.
So the party is actually based on actual events. So it's Okpe Ajayi. He's the CEO of Cinemax. I think he worked with Genesis Cinemas for about more than 10 years. So it was his story, initially, and he wanted to tell it. So he called me up. He was like, man, Morafa, I have this murder mystery, and it has to be you. And I'm like, okay, let's see the script. So I looked at the script. I'm like, okay, not bad. I like the idea of, what's happening, and I wanted it to be relatable. I wanted to have striking visuals. So I did a 42-page treatment, and my producer, Judith Audu, was like, oh, wow. I'm like, yeah, I really want us to go in on this, So I think it happened to Okpe when he was still a bachelor. He was living in a building with some guys, just the way the story is. And of course, it didn't happen exactly like that. That's why I said it's based on actual events and not a true story.
Okay.
So we decided to amplify it and put it on the screen. Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so there was a bit of everything in the film. I saw a bit of comedy, there was a bit of drama, there was a bit of thriller, there was a bit of Because some sexual, yeah. So it wasn't bad. I don't disagree.
Right.
I think it was great. But when it comes to films like that, a lot of people don't know how to classify it. In your opinion, what kind of film, what kind of content is the party?
So it's because it's a whodunit. It's a murder mystery. So it's really under thriller, because it's a murder mystery. But there's some other mysteries that are really more subtle and But essentially everything is drama. Essentially every film you watch is drama. But I think it is a thriller. Yeah, pretty much. But you can say it's a smash of genres because it has different genres in it. But essentially, it is a thriller.
Okay, follow up to that. Is there a particular genre you've not done or you've avoided because of the Nigerian audience, and you would love to explore?
Well, maybe comedy. I'm not a fan of, how do I put it where I'm not misconstrued. I'm not a fan of slapstick comedy. So I tend to run away from it because I've been approached a lot of times. Oh, we have comedy, we have romantic comedy. I'm like, nah, there are a lot of people who can do romantic comedy. That's not my vibe. So comedy is something the type of comedy I want to do is dark humor. Exactly. If you watch British movies, the dark humors, So that's what I want to do, dark humors. But we don't tend to, Nigeria is a very volatile. The industry is very volatile. If you don't do certain genres, you might just fall out.
A lot of people feel that the Nigerian audience prefers slapstick comedy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So yeah, that's the only reason I don't want to, because I don't think my films are essentially for every single person. Yeah, I don't think so.
But do you think that the Nigerian audience is enough for your films, or is it open to? I mean, of course, everybody wants to appeal to a global audience.
Yeah.
But I'm saying now that when you write your films, when you create your films, is it primarily for the Nigerian audience, or you're doing it for a global audience?
Oh no! I think every film, however you make it, is actually for a global audience. However you make it. But then if the global audience now receives it well, then that's a different thing entirely. But if you're trying to make your film global, there are technicals that you have to consider, like, the excellence in sound, your color correction, your cinematography, your production design. You really have to scale it up to a certain level where the global or international audience can say, okay, yeah, we can watch this. But if it doesn't get to that, then you're not really doing it for a global audience. But like I said, we all think that we're doing it for a wider audience. Yeah.
For the genre, for the genre you've done so far, thriller, faith-based dramas, and all that. Has there ever been any time any of your films, and for the kind of stories you tell and how you tell them, have you ever had issues with censorship or classification of any of your films?
Yes. Something Wicked was my very first film, and there was a lot of gore, a lot of blood, and censor board were like, man, how do we even classify this? Because they hadn't seen that before, and I must say that I think that the film was a bit ahead of its time, because it was hard for them to classify it. So so I had to talk to people to help talk to them, like, man, we're taking this film to cinema, we cannot not be classified, because if you're not classified, the exhibitors would not actually play. So they told us to remove some scenes, take out some, make the blood a bit, So I had to reduce a lot of it, which I didn't find, funny at all. But yeah, so that's pretty much.
Good news that the board is trying to go from censorship now to classification.
Yes, so which is what they should have done all these years, and I don't know what censorship really means these days. Yeah.
Are you saying censorship is bad?
No, it's not bad. When you classify it, then we know that it belongs to a certain age range, and that's what it is.
In a lot of cases, in a lot of homes, it's very difficult for Nigerian parents, even in the cinemas, to restrict who watches what, because a 16-year-old, for example, looks like a 21-year-old now, honestly. So sometimes maybe I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Yeah. So sometimes that might be a problem, and so because of that, they try to say, oh, okay, maybe we're not particularly. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying maybe that's why. Yeah,
but it's a global issue. Yeah, I mean, let's talk about maybe nightclubs now. You see people going to nightclubs and, bouncers ask for ID and you present an ID. It's a fake ID. They let you in. It's a global issue. So there are other ways to try and, curb that, and not saying that, let's censor a creative, an artist's work, or body of work, and let's censor it so that people won't see it. No, it's meant to be seen, meant to be explored, meant to be, visualized. So I don't know when they say, they want to censor it. Just put it in some age range. And I guess that's somehow, it being censored as well, because a certain age range can't watch it. However, you cannot really control who watches what, because even parents at home, when they say, parental guardians and blah, 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 you really, don't sit with your kid you just tell them that, you can't watch this film. Like, my kid is here and she can't watch my film. She can't watch the party. Her mom has seen it and her mom is like, you can't watch it. Sorry, your daddy did not make a film for your age.
How does that make you feel?
And I'm like, she's like, I said, you can't watch it. There's nothing I can do about it.
Do you think she can't watch it, or you are just going with what society?
She can't watch it.
I'm asking.
No, I know she can't watch it. She's 11 years old. You've seen it, so I don't
know. So let's come back to Nollywood. I remember that Aburo was your film, if I'm correct. Yeah. And it was in the cinema. Now, in that same period, there were a lot of films in the cinema. I think there were a few films in the cinema that were doing really well. And a lot of times, people, a lot of producers say that they do not recoup what they spend on the film and the marketing when they go to cinema. That it's not necessarily profitable. And so people are talking about funding coming into Nollywood. Now, Nollywood as an industry, some people consider it porous because the kind of monies that come in are not always legitimate funds. And that. How do you find funding for your films?
I keep telling people, if you want to make a film, the first thing you should think of is marketing. Let me just say, if you have 100 million, for example, you should spend 30 million on your film and 70 million on marketing. That's how your film will sell. You need to shove it down people's throats. It's literally so a film that is good, people say, it will sell itself, word of mouth. The truth is, no, not really. Maybe not in this country. So you really need to push and push and push. I've seen people do a whole lot of marketing and their films come out. But we some of us were very artistic. We're like, no, my film is good and it will sell itself. It's a lie. You need to market your film. You need to spend money on publicity. You need to push. There's a lot when it comes to selling a film, especially when it goes to theaters. It's a lot. There's canvassing, there's tabletops, there are merchandise, there's stuff. And I didn't even believe that merchandise actually goes a long way. When people come to cinemas and you're like, I have face cap for you guys, I see people fighting for it. Now I now see, when my mom used to go for parties back in the day and she's always fighting for buckets, and I'm like, this is we're in that exactly. So people actually like merchandise, t-shirts. So those are the things that you really need to push your film. It's a lot of marketing. Get actors to come and do meet and greet. It's a whole lot. So when some producers just say, the film will sell itself, I don't think so. Look at foreign films, for example. They spend a whole lot of money on marketing, and those are the guys that know how to do it the best. And we're here saying, no, my film will sell itself. Nah, man, it won't.
Okay.
So for you, if you have to choose, if you have your way, film straight to cinema, film straight to streaming platform, film straight to YouTube, which would you do?
Streaming platform.
No, I would pick cinema any day. The films I make are supposed to be an experience. Yeah, because I try to do films with striking visual, like very strong visuals. So the films I make are for cinema. However, we don't get to have that chance all the time.
The party came to streaming platform because it was short and sweet, and one way or the other, it may have worked as a cinema film. Yes. Why didn't you explore that option if you prefer cinema?
So because Netflix wanted it. That's all. Yeah, because Netflix wanted it. I don't think I'm allowed to say more than that. But we wanted to go to cinema. Then someone from Netflix said, I heard you guys made a film. Can you send a 10-minute cut of the film? I'm like, okay. So I talked to Okpa and I talked, and he was like, let's. So we sent it to them, and that night we got an email saying that they want the film. And that's
just 10 minutes cut. Just
a 10-minute cut. They just said they want the film.
So you didn't pitch for it?
We didn't really pitch for it. We just sent it to them, and they saw it 10 minutes. And they really loved it. And I guess that's what happened. We actually wanted to go to cinemas, but Netflix picked it up. And if Netflix picks up your film at this time, Yeah, that's a good thing. It's a good thing. Yeah.
Are you fine with the reception and the acceptance from the public compared to if you had gone to the cinema?
Yeah, I think I'm fine with it because a lot of people who I was at the cinema some days ago, and it was about 23 grand for everything. It's expensive to go to cinemas. Yeah, we don't have community cinemas where people can pay 1,000 naira and just go in and watch a film. We don't have that. I know that the people of Nile Group are trying to do that, but right now we do not have that easy access or that I mean, this is Nigeria now, so it's expensive to actually go to cinemas. So I like it that people are actually watching it. It has blown crazy on TikTok. People are talking about it. I mean, I like that. It went to a streaming platform first. I mean, a major streaming platform. Yeah.
So talking about cinemas, there's some complication that actors and producers have been debating on for a while now, for a couple of months now, where films that go to cinema require dancing, heavy dancing on social media to sing. Now, you've gone to cinemas before. You like the cinemas.
Right, I do.
Does dancing actually work? Do you dance? Do you get signed with your actors that once you star in my film, you will dance?
As part of marketing.
I mean, as part of marketing. I mean, you already said it, that marketing is key. Is key. So if you know them, what kind of marketing works best in the Nigerian climate? Because everybody feels like you must dance.
So I think the Nigerian cinema, we're in the actors era.
Okay.
And when I mean the actors, we used to be in the producers era way back. Now we're in the actors era where it's the actor that carries the film. So right now, if you're going to make a film, you need to put 1, 2, 3 major actors who have numbers, give them, maybe put them as your executive producer so that they share the risk as well. So they literally carry the film on their heads and they market it for you. So be it dance, be it, Roomba, be it, I don't know, whatever it is, they should carry the film on their heads and help you market the film. That's the way you can actually sell your films now, because we are in the actors era. We have passed the producers era, and I don't think we're ever going to get to a directors era, but we're in the actors era where the actor is key to making your money back or making more money. Yeah. And you guys can actually see it. In the films that have been actually doing good in the cinemas, 1 or 2 major actors are on the forefront of that particular film. Yeah.
You said you don't think we are going to ever come to the director's era. Is that not a sort of not death sentence, but a is that not a downer for directors who really want to make a name directing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a director and I love directing. However, we're not going to get to a place where it's it has to be this director. It is actually the actors and producers that will come together and say which director is best suitable for this. For someone like me, I find it. A lot of producers find it hard to work with me, just because of what I want and how I am extremely detailed. But the ones that work, I'm
expensive. I mean, in terms of execution, not in terms of what you take.
I would like to think so. I would like to think so because I want it to look a certain way. I want it to be scaled up, and so that it appeals to a wider audience. And I mean, I think you guys have seen it in the party how we kind of went a bit, above to make it look really good.
Okay, today we've discussed about crew, and you are a major part of several sets that you've worked on. Do you think producers give enough or do well in terms of the welfare of crew members? You just told us how some producers don't want to work with you because of your detailed plans and how you intend to run the show. Do you think producers in Nigeria actually give their all to the welfare and safety of crew members and actors on set?
All right. So I think there was another question you asked me when it comes to producers, because a lot of people they label themselves producers. A lot of people. I facilitated a masterclass I think some months ago. And I was talking to people and they were like, oh, well, I'm a producer. And I'm like, if you know what it takes to be a producer, you wouldn't actually be saying that. There's a lot of work. There's a lot of going to school or taking courses, taking a lot of master classes to understand what it actually means to be a producer and how to actually bring, because that's what you're doing. You're managing a lot of people from different walks of life, bringing them together. It's easier to manage chickens in a freaking poultry than to manage human beings together in a place who are all creatives. It is very hard. So you need to go through a process, maybe understudy producers, maybe go to school, but sadly that's not the case in Nigeria. A lot of people just call themselves producers just because they've made one film that has gone to some sort of platform, and because of that they don't have the etiquette of being a producer, and that's the challenge that we have. Because if you do, you would know that safety of the cast and crew, it is paramount to the production. It's the well-being, the welfare of people that you are putting together, who have families, who have friends, who have relatives. You're bringing them together to make a film, or to create something spectacular, and you are not putting their welfare as your number one priority. That's why I said that we don't have a lot of producers. I can count up to 10 producers in this country. And I know that we have people who we have over 500,000 people who are saying that they're producers, but I don't think they are. If you send a script to me right now and you say, Film Boy, I want you to direct this, the first question I ask you is, who's producing? If you give me a name that I do not know, I will back out, because a director is only as good as his producer. If the producer doesn't have a vision for the story and the vision of the producer is smaller than my vision, then what am I doing here? The producer's vision has to top my vision so that we can now come together and do something fantastic. So I tell people that you are not a producer. I don't know why you think you're a producer, because somebody has given you money, some measly 10 million to produce something, and somehow you think you're a producer. Some guy was saying that he produced, and he has talked to some actors and they don't listen to him. He sends messages and they don't reply back. I'm like, because the actor doesn't recognize you as a producer. You have not even understudied anybody to say, okay, you know what, let me understudy this person. Let me be this person's PA for a while so I can meet these actors, so that when I start calling them, they know that, oh, this is the person that you understudied this person, so I know you now. And you're saying, good afternoon, I'm a producer. Who are you? Do you get? So now, taking us to the well-being and welfare of these people, you have to understand what it takes to be a producer first. The situation with we had a situation I think last year, and we had a situation recently where we lost a crew member, and I'm like, it's just negligence, it's just an incompetence, and it's crazy how you won't have lifesavers, you won't have people looking out for your crew members, people who are skilled. You are shooting beside or close to an ocean. The party we shot in a pool, and we had 3 lifesavers. A pool, it wasn't even that deep, but we had 3 lifesavers just in case anything happens to anybody. Somebody will go inside and bring them out immediately. And we even had firefighters for no reason. We had them standing by just in case anything goes wrong. So I don't know how. I don't know, man. It's heartbreaking. I don't know. It's heartbreaking.
Okay, so before we go, because we're running steadily out of time, I want you to. There's a trend that every creative now has a YouTube channel. That's not just filmmakers. Creatives generally have YouTube channels. Do you have a YouTube channel? What's coming from your stables? We've seen the party. We loved it. What's coming next? What are you working on that you'd like to share here? As a sneak peek.
So the term YouTube is, the founders of YouTube, the idea was everybody own a YouTube channel. So it's fine. So that's pretty much, other things are under wraps for now. We're still trying to create them. Yeah.
Thank you very well, Morafa. It's been an interesting time. Discussing Nollywood, discussing your career, discussing your growth, and discussing your achievements in the Nigerian film industry. Thank you for coming to our studios, and thank you for sharing.
When Ginger is coming out, if we invite you, you'll come again.
Yeah, definitely. I will come. I'll come.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
And on this note, we'll be wrapping up today's edition of Nollywood on Radio on your favorite radio dial, Top 90.9 FM. As we noted earlier on, today's edition is dedicated to 2 people who are dear to us. Olaoluwa Dare Lawal, who was an actor, creative till his death, and our own Mrs. Adepero Agbaje, whom we also lost last week. This edition is dedicated to their memories. Thank you, and we'll see you same time next week.